want the whole backstory?
Not just a little snippet.
Oh man. Oh, okay, we'll chop it up. Good onions. Might be some tears. My name's Kana. I started in the industry as a body piercer. Probably about 15, a little over 15 years ago. And I'm not proud to say it, but I kind of started because my buddy was a piercer. And he asked me if I wanted to do it, and I thought it'd be a great way to meet women. That led into me meeting some tattoo artists that I ended up working with, and they kind of tricked me into getting into the industry for like months and months and months. This guy, Ivan Spillman, wanted me to learn how to tattoo. Kept asking me, do you want to learn? Can I teach you? Do you want to learn? I kept telling him, no. Because in my opinion, if you're a body piercer and then you become a tattoo artist, you know, especially when you put as much passion into like what I was doing as a piercer, you kind of lose your identity. You know, all that hard-earned, that, you know, reputation that you fought for, that you're not a sleazebag, that you know what you're doing, that you'll take care of your clients. You lose all that when you become a tattoo artist or a tattoo apprentice. You become not a body piercer that knows how to tattoo. You're forever known as a tattoo artist that can do body piercing. And not only that, but you start from the bottom again. So you're like bottom rung in the ladder all over again. Doesn't matter if you've been doing it for 30 years as a body piercer, the moment you pick up a tattoo machine, you're zero again. And it might have been a little selfish, but I didn't want to start all over again. Well, fast forward, you know, about a month, 2 months into it, I'm helping this guy, Ivan, setting up his equipment, breaking his equipment down, doing stencils for him, not realizing the whole time that I'm doing all this, I thought it was our agreement, like I get to watch him tattoo, because it always fascinated me. But no, he was tricking me. It was all to get me to start the apprenticeship. All those things were apprentice duties, you know, clean my stuff, do this, make a stencil, do this drawing for me. So after a while, Ivan decided he was gonna take off, go back to the East Coast where he's from. We hired another tattoo artist, Mike Arendine, and Mike and him got together and they agreed that they would take me on, or Mike would take me on as an apprentice. So Mike walks up to me one day and is like, hey, Kana, you've been in the industry long enough where I guess we could call you old school. I'm like, well, yeah, I suppose so, yeah. And then he looks at me, he's like, I've been in the industry long enough where I'm definitely old school. I'm like, okay. Kind of knowing where he's going with it. And that's when he drops a bomb on me. He was like, so you know one old school artist to another old school artist, there's only one correct answer to this question. And right then and there, I knew he had me. Because he was right. And he came out with it. He was like, do you want to learn how to tattoo from me? And he was right. I couldn't deny him. You know, I had to accept it. And I did. And I'm glad they tricked me into it. I'm glad they put me into a corner, because for the past, over a decade, I've been tattooed, loving every day that I've been doing it. You know, it's tough, it's stressful, because every day is different. You're never gonna walk into the same day. You're gonna meet people that you might not mesh well with, but they're coming to you because they respect your art. I met Eric and the guys here at Hollywood Stars Tattoo roughly about 10 years ago. I was working at another shop that kind of blew up in everybody's faces, and we'll just leave it at that. But another person that I worked with at that shop, she started working here, and knowing that I had a background in piercing, and I was just starting out with my tattoo career, she had told me, I met her, you know, at a bar one night, we were drinking and stuff, and she was like, hey, this place that I'm working at, the guys are freaking awesome, you should come through. I think they're looking for a body piercer. So, you know, next day after I sleep my hangover over, head on up here, meet up with the guys, ask them if I can get hired as a body piercer. I think it was almost a year that I was working here as a body piercer, give or take about a year, and one of my tattoos had walked into the shop, and we're naturally curious, if we see a decent looking tattoo, if we see a badass looking tattoo, sometimes if we see like a crazy looking tattoo, we always ask, hey, where'd you get that? Who's the artist? Why'd you go to that person? Do you like the work and stuff? And one of my tattoos had come in, and Eric ends up asking this girl, hey, and see you got a tattoo. He's like, well, that's a cool butterfly. Where'd you get it from? And she's like, oh, it's this Hawaiian guy. And that's when Eric kind of like looks at her sideways. It's like, Hawaiian guy. It's like, I only met one Hawaiian guy around here. He's like, I don't think he does tattoos though. He's like, what's his name? And she's like, oh, it's Connor or Kona, and he's like, Kana? And she's like, yeah, that's the guy. He's got long hair and stuff. He's like, what the hell? And it happened to be my day off, so I come in the next day, and Eric's like, hey, do you do tattoos? I'm like, damn it, I'm about to lose my job. And basically, I'm like, okay, I'll come clean. It's like, yeah, I started an apprenticeship, and I did tattoos for like a year and a half, 2 years and stuff before I worked here. He's like, why didn't you tell us? And I was like, because I wanted to get hired. But yeah, eventually I ended up getting all my tattoo gear from my place, bringing it here. Eric asked me, is like, bring in your stuff if you really want to learn. Let's see where you at, and we'll just go from there. See if we can make a go of you tattooing and stuff. And I'm so thankful, because in my eyes, Eric was the final apprenticeship that I've taken, and even though the first two guys, Ivan and Arendine, they taught me a lot. They did, but the most I learned was working with Eric, as far as like limitations that I have and how I can get past and move on beyond them and progress my art. Techniques that I never knew existed, possibilities with working on skin that I never knew existed. And then through Eric, I got to meet so many other artists and stuff that I just respect and really enjoy hanging out with, and doing art thing, and doing, the drinking thing, and the hanging out and joking around stuff. It's just been, this place has given me an opportunity to enjoy a life that I didn't realize was possible, before I got here.
My name's Damali Gutierrez. I'm Eric's brother. We opened up the shop in 2004. It was a brainchild of Eric's. We had an idea after working at several tattoo shops of how we wanted his tattoo studio to be, and together we opened up Hollywood Star Tattoos. Well, me and Eric, we've always been close. Before he joined the Marine Corps, we used to hang out together. We'd run the streets together, and we had our differences with each other. I was very stubborn, and Eric, he has his own mentality, Marine Corps mentality, and so we had our ups and downs. But we've always learned how to just, we opened this up. It was just big old walls and scraping up. I remember just scraping up. We had some carpet up on here, and we'd rip it all up, and under it was some like 40-year-old tile, vinyl tile. So here we are with big old ideas and big plans, and we were just scraping up this tile, but it was just too hard to scrape it with spatulas, and we didn't have tools. We didn't know nothing about what we were gonna do in this, but we were scraping it, hitting, breaking it on the floor, and just throwing it away and coming back in here. It was day in, day out for like maybe 2 weeks, and then for the next several months, any money that was coming in was going right back into the tattoo shop. We're a family of 8, and growing up with a big family, that's, and Eric went in the Marine Corps, they have this brotherhood bond going on. So when we opened up the studio, Eric wanted a brotherhood of talent here. You know, we had Big Gus here, Alan Padilla, we had Carlos Reyes, I believe. We had Big Bug was over here for a while. He started a crew called Ink Addicts. Eric started this crew, and next you know, we had Demented Image, we had Templo Studios here with Hollywood Star Tattoos, and little by little we just, you know, we had a lot of people come in and out. We've seen a lot of guys that just didn't make the cut. You know, they were, you know, all just kind of like, we call them turtle artists, where they come, you know, if they don't make it, they take their stuff and they go on, and you know. But we finally got a great team. We've had Joseph here, you know, for a while, that you know, immediately bonds. I mean, you know, he was shy in the beginning, but all of a sudden, you know, once he got a good feel of who we are, and it was like he was made for this. And we have Darnell Wayne, we have Kana. Kana's, you know, he's been with us the longest. You know, that's my Hawaiian brother right there. It's very important because, you know, for anybody trusting to bring their family over here, this is them bringing their family to our family. And when we see them come in here, we don't see them as clientele. We see them as, you know, they're helping us out. They're, you know, we could have a house full of rock star artists, but if there ain't no clients here, if there ain't people coming in here, you know, you just have a whole bunch of great guys sitting down drawing, you know. But we appreciate everybody coming in. We take care of them. I like making sure that they feel at home. You know, I joke around with them, kind of put the tension down, let their guard down, and just joke with them, talk about their ideas, you know, do a collaboration. Even though I don't do tattoos, I love hearing people's ideas and maybe even give them a couple, you know, my own ideas. But as I said, I also have a clothing line, Powered by Faith. It's something that is dear to my heart because it's from my kids. You know, faith is not about religion, it's about your relationship with God. And me, I was, before Hollywood Star Tattoos even started, I was in and out of the streets, gang banging, drinking, drug addiction, seen a lot of friends die. So this tattoo shop was something that really pulled me off the streets and had me really getting involved with my clients, my brother, and my own passion, which, I mean, when you see people coming in, we have all walks of life coming in. So when you have them here for a while, either getting tattooed or piercing, you build conversation with them, you build a camaraderie with them, and we just start talking about life. And with Powered by Faith, I believe that we are all under one God, and we all should be just serving one another. So I always take my time. I don't really push religion. I just push love and compassion towards everyone, you know. And faith is following all inspiration towards heaven. You know, I don't believe in God just, you know, being in one religion. You know, God's for all of us, for us all. So many other acronyms my children made were family always in the heart, feeling all inspired through hope, and finding all invitations to help. Just serving a purpose towards one another, and that's how it is in Hollywood Star Tattoos. You know, you can feel at home right here. You know, we really do care about you. We care about your ideas. When you come here, we're not just gonna stamp you up and just send you on your way. We want to hear your direction of what your tattoo means to you. So once we find out what it means to you, we could actually sit down and we could collaborate with all the artists in here, and we could sit down and create this custom tailored fit tattoo that express exactly what you want, where we could actually meet and exceed what your expectations.
All right. My name is Gutierrez at Fuangfoo. A lot of my friends just know me as Art. Well, geez, started tattooing. Well, first I started drawing when I was just a little kid. My folks used to own a pizza shop, and so I would just be running around, taking orders, sweeping, mopping, doing whatever. And in my free time, I would just draw. That was kind of like my escape or my way to get out of there, you know. So I've been drawing for a while. Ended up going to school for it. Went to the Art Center, College of Design over in Pasadena, and I learned a lot there. You know, painting and watercolors and whatnot, they always were kind of secondhand. With that, I was hoping to get into the movie industry or maybe even the video game industry, doing like concept design. So I took a lot of design classes and a lot of illustration classes, not really knowing that in the video game industry and now in the movie industry, you needed a lot of computer skills too, which I didn't have any of when I graduated that school. So leaving there, I didn't really have too many options with my artwork. I would do, little side gigs here and there, and a couple logos, some package designs and stuff, but nothing that I could really make a career out of, or at least nothing that I wanted a career out of doing that stuff. Eventually, I got my way into teaching at this school, the Art Institute of California in Los Angeles. And I was teaching perspective not really figurative. I was teaching perspective, color theory, some design and stuff. So I taught a few of the classes, the things I was pretty proficient with. And after about 5 years there, I found this shop. Actually, it was Leslie, a friend of mine who was also working at the school there. She started apprenticing here, and then of course she kind of I kind of gravitated over here after working at the school. Met the guys, everyone was cool, and started working here. I started off, in fact, working here as a concept designer, designing the custom tattoos that people would come and get. After a while, Eric, our boss, let me start doing some of the tattoos of the designs that I would do. And that's pretty much where I'm at now. I'm designing the custom pieces here that I'm doing, and yeah, it's been going great. As an artist, you need to grow no matter what. You can't kind of leave yourself in one spot just doing one thing. You need those options. I mean, not even as an artist, just as a human being, you're gonna need that sense of growth, because without it, we all know about stagnation and becoming too comfortable in our own skin and our own surroundings and stuff. That doesn't ever lead to anything good. I've always favored the old ways because they're already tried and true, and so many people have made it using that it's pretty much, I don't want to say fail proof or whatever, but it's secure. That social media I've never really been a fan of. It's like, in my opinion, it would take so much of my time to learn it and get used to using it and kind of like make myself in that realm that I just don't. I think my efforts are going to be spent better somewhere else. You know what I mean? I kind of going back to what we were saying about going outside of the box, going outside of your world and stuff like that. The effort I would need to kind of learn the social media and learn all that, plugging in or what you would call it. I'd rather spend that trying to go somewhere. You know what I mean? And trying to expand my horizons. The only constant is change. Yeah. Let me leave you with that.
Wait, you said you're rolling? 3, 2, 1. My name is Eric Gutierrez. This is Hollywood Stars Tattoo. It's a shop that I started about 12 years ago. We opened up in 04. And that's pretty much it. I opened up the shop. It was me and my brother. It was just us kind of saying we're done with all the other bullshit, and we said, hey, let's just do this ourselves. Mm-hmm. It's mostly to have control of how the shop is run. Mm-hmm. For me, it was keeping him out of trouble. For him, it's just being around me. And we're still doing it.
Yeah. And your brother, is he a tattoo artist?
No, he's a piercer.
Okay.
He does a piercing.
So you tattoo and he pierces.
Yeah. He actually learned how to pierce just so he could stay at the shop. So he wouldn't be just a person hanging out at the shop. It's like, I asked the owner if he could teach him how to pierce so he could be around.
When I started working here, family was really important for me. Even just the whole environment, being kind of family, or for the most part family friendly, and you do have your daughter here and you have your family here. What made you want to do that initially?
The whole family thing is again, if we're together, if we're close, we can look out for each other a lot easier. If we're apart, then a lot of times, say me and my brother, every time he was gone, all I hear is oh, this happened and that happened. At least when he was here, I was able to influence him. But we kind of influence each other now. Instead of me making the shop for, say, how people say I'm doing this for my family, I actually wanted to really put my family into it. Having a space for my kids to be, and having even for my girl, having my girl here, just keeping it family friendly, where you don't have to worry about some crazy shit happening because hey, my family's here, you know, like act right. As far as the shop goes, I've always wanted to own a shop. I don't even know why I did. I thought that was just a level of a person you have to like. Okay, you're working and then now you own your own. When I actually transitioned into from being working to owning a shop, I didn't know I was gonna be into like I didn't know it was gonna be like I thought it was gonna be easier. You know, you think like okay now I'm calling the shots, but it's like now you're responsible for everything. You know, and you just gotta get good at being responsible for everything. That's the difficult part. But being young, I never even up to when I opened up my shop, I didn't think I was gonna open it up. You know, I just thought like I'll just work for these whoever for the next 10 years and then I'll open up a shop. But what I did is I just started to educate myself, and I started to do research on a lot of things and it turned out that with what I already knew and what my experience was, I could open up a shop. I could run a shop, and you know I never knew we'd be open as long. I never knew that we would last. Like, cause it's one thing having it and getting it, and then it's another thing holding on to it. You know. And then why you're holding on to it, you know, having that reason, like why am I here? Why am I still here?
Yeah.
And then just the average person, like right here, it's a different kind of average, you know. Like when you're in the hood, there's an average right there. When you're not in the hood, there's a different kind of average, you know, where you want to actually bring some people in the hood and introduce them to the people that aren't in the hood. You know? I like that. I like that little contrast there.
You try to make excuses. You say it's your age or the time of day or whatever the case. You think it's better to part ways. You say time will bring us back. If it's meant to be like that, oh.